Chosen one. As this message begins, Spirit is making one thing clear: it's your time to shine, and the very people who once turned their backs on you can feel it. That's the energy behind the collapse you're sensing, because something in their world is crumbling as yours rises. Right now, someone who once walked away is drowning in a shame they can't outrun. The version of you they expected to break never appeared. Instead, you transformed into someone untouchable, someone powerful, and as this plays out, you'll see exactly why their downfall and your rise were always divinely connected. Think about all those moments when you begged certain people to see you. Remember how you showed up repeatedly. Remember the energy you poured into relationships that seemed to give nothing back. You weren't crazy. You weren't desperate. You were dealing with people standing under a shadow so thick nobody could see clearly. That shadow was part of the empire collapsing now. Comfort in delusion felt normal. Recognition of light standing right in front of them was impossible. That shadow had an expiration date. That darkness had a timer on it. When it lifts, when that building finally comes down, vision becomes clear for the first time in years. Looking at you brings realization of what was available and thrown away. Understanding what was lost arrives with devastating clarity. That realization is going to haunt certain people for the rest of their lives. But before we get to how this ends, you need to understand how you got here. You need to see what's been happening in the shadows. You need to know why everything is about to flip in a way that will leave certain mouths speechless. Someone orchestrated a plan against you. This wasn't random hate. This wasn't spontaneous negativity. Someone sat down and mapped out your destruction like a military campaign. People got involved. Favors were called in. Money was spent. Time and resources were invested into making absolutely certain that you would fall. In one mind it was flawless. Every detail was accounted for. Every angle was covered. Every possible outcome was calculated. Something happened that wasn't planned for, something nobody could have anticipated. Every single attack went right over your head like you weren't even there. Not because you dodged it. Not because you fought back. You're operating on a frequency beyond reach now. You're not where anyone thinks you are. Punches are being thrown at a ghost. Fighting is happening against a version of you that doesn't exist. While exhaustion happens in that battle, you're ascending to levels nobody can even perceive. The people hired to destroy you are stopping themselves. Mid-task, mid-scheme, something inside refuses to complete the assignment. Half the plan gets attempted, and then everything just stops. No explanation exists. No understanding comes. Something is blocking completion. So playing both sides becomes the strategy. Serving your enemy's table gets attempted, and then switching to yours, but access isn't allowed anymore. Bridges were burned, choices were made, stuck in the middle becomes the reality. Liability to everyone, useful to no one, trusted by neither side. The consequences are manifesting now. Firing is happening, demotions are occurring, lawsuits are being filed, exposure is coming publicly. The very people who thought employment meant taking you down are facing their own destruction instead. The attack is reversing, the curse is returning to sender, the trap is catching the ones who set it. Something specific was being kept from you, some dream, some stability, some wish fulfillment that was destined to anchor into your reality, regardless of interference. Dibs were assumed on it. Claiming what the universe had already assigned to you was attempted. Greed reached levels of delusion. For some of you watching this, family members are directly involved in this plot. Control was felt as lost, and this was the final attempt, the crescendo, the masterpiece. Spiritual compromise was the goal. Failed. Mental compromise was attempted. Failed. Physical compromise was pursued. Failed. The pattern is clear. Descending down the rungs of the ladder is happening. Desperation is increasing with each failure. The absolute bottom has been reached. Nowhere left to go exists. The well is empty. Screaming into a void is happening, and hearing nothing but echoes of failure bouncing back. God said enough. Taking has reached its limit from you. The well is completely empty. Scraping at dirt is all that remains. Hearing echoes of desperation is the only response. A line exists in the spiritual realm, and hitting it has occurred. Going deeper isn't possible. Taking any more can't happen. Something powerful is about to shift. When rock bottom is reached in terms of what can be taken from you, the launching pad for your greatest ascension becomes activated simultaneously. People are emerging from that collapsing building right now. Not the hired hands, not the family betrayers, the people who were supposed to be your allies, the ones who turned away when things got difficult, the ones who thought staying neutral was possible. Omission is involvement. Silence is a choice. Inaction is an action. When turning away from you happened, when refusing to stand with you occurred, counting against them in the spiritual ledger took place. Walking away seemed fine in their minds. Running to different relationships, different cities, different countries, seemed like forgetting you was possible. But you are unforgettable. Something about your energy stays with people. Fading from memory doesn't happen. Haunting continues. Calling back happens like a siren song that can't be ignored. The people who orchestrated all of this are being exposed now. Everyone around them is seeing the naked truth. This was never about justice or righteousness or protection. This was always about obsession. Getting over you isn't possible for these orchestrators. Moving on can't happen. Letting go is impossible. Stopping focus on you for even one day feels like suffocation. Literally, not metaphorically. A burning sensation exists in certain chests that expands every time letting go gets attempted. Consumption from the inside happens. Control of thoughts takes over. Dictation of actions occurs, and now everyone around them can see it clearly. All that effort invested into bringing you down is having a building collapse on top of it. Standing there helpless is the current state, watching as the same people who were convinced to walk away from you start walking back toward you. The people who couldn't be fully turned against you but were pushed just far enough to make leaving your circle happen are coming back now. Stopping it is impossible for anyone. The most poetic part is manifesting. The crescendo planned for you is playing out in other lives instead. The script has been flipped. Some people are going to end up in jail. Standing before a judge is going to bring words never spoken in an entire career. After decades on the bench, after seeing thousands of cases, encountering someone with this many charges has never happened. This many varieties of crimes, this level of systematic corruption, an entire network is coming down. A whole web of people who thought being untouchable was permanent because getting away with it for so long seemed to prove immunity. Evidence is stacking up like an avalanche nobody can outrun. The echo of karma is deafening. Sending some of it your direction is being attempted desperately. Weird sensations in your ears might be happening. Strange frequencies, random ringing that comes out of nowhere. That's not reaching you. Those aren't attacks landing. That's hitting the barrier. Your spirit guides are blocking everything. Hearing the sound of attacks bouncing off your divine protection is all you're experiencing. A wall around you now exists that cannot be penetrated. Reaching the bottom of the barrel in terms of what can be taken from you means simultaneously reaching the beginning of your greatest ascension. If these words stirred your consciousness, hype this video to help more chosen ones awaken to this. Right now, going through something that can't be explained to anyone around them is happening. Waking up thinking about you occurs. Going to sleep thinking about you happens. This isn't love. This isn't longing in any romantic sense. This is recognition. Finally recognizing what was available and thrown away is destroying peace. Seeing you clearly for the first time is happening, and that clarity is causing devastation. This person thought walking away was leaving someone who needed them. The upper hand seemed possessed. Chasing was expected. Begging to come back was anticipated. Proving yourself worthy of presence seemed inevitable, but none of that happened. You went silent. You disappeared into your restoration. That silence is louder than any words you could have spoken. Checking your energy from a distance is happening now. Looking at your social media without engaging occurs. Asking mutual friends about you in casual conversation happens. Trying not to seem too interested. Driving past places you might be takes place. Listening for your name in every room entered becomes routine. Every time a glimpse of you is caught, every time something good happening in your life is heard about, that shame deepens. Understanding is starting to dawn. You didn't fall apart without this person. Crumbling didn't happen. Becoming bitter and angry and desperate never occurred. You became better. Leveling up in ways nobody can comprehend took place. That reality is hitting like a freight train nobody saw coming. The shame being carried has layers to it. Surface shame of being wrong about you exists. Deeper shame of realizing how badly treatment occurred sits underneath. But the deepest shame of all lives at the core. The shame of knowing that everyone around can see the fumbling that happened. Friends see it. Family sees it. Even strangers who observe can sense something is off about how certain people carry themselves now. Living in a prison of their own making is the current reality for these people. The bars are made of every moment. Pride was chosen over connection. Every time ego was chosen over authenticity. Every time image was chosen over your well-being. Those moments have solidified into a cage. Escape is impossible from. Here's where your power comes in. You're not the one holding the key to that cage. Being their jailer isn't your role. Responsibility for their freedom or their continued imprisonment doesn't belong to you. You simply existed in your truth, and that truth revealed who certain people really were. The cage locked itself. Right now, other people in your past are experiencing something similar. Different degrees of the same shame exist. Different flavors of the same regret are being tasted. These are the people who stayed silent when you needed voices. The ones who believed lies about you without asking your side. The ones who distanced themselves because association with you became inconvenient. Watching is happening now from all of them. What's being seen is causing a collective crisis. The story told to themselves about you isn't matching the reality unfolding before their eyes. Convincing themselves you were the problem happened. You were difficult. You were too much or not enough. You were unstable. You were dramatic. An entire narrative was built to justify abandonment. That narrative is crumbling just like that building in the spiritual realm. Acting like someone who was the problem isn't what you're doing. Behaving like someone unstable isn't happening. Moving like someone who was always destined for exactly where you're going is what's occurring. Reconciling the story told with the evidence being witnessed is impossible for them. Walking back slowly is happening now from people who turned away. Something beautiful about this moment needs your attention. You're not even going to want all of them back. Looking at some of them and feeling absolutely nothing is what's coming. No anger burning in your chest. No resentment clouding your thoughts. Not even satisfaction at their regret. Just pure indifference. You've outgrown the version of yourself that needed their validation to feel worthy. The dormant dreams you stopped talking about because people laughed are waking up. Coming true is happening. Not in some vague future timeline that may or may not happen. Now. Soon. Immediately. The relationships you fought so hard to preserve, the ones you poured everything into trying to save, are being replaced with better ones. People who actually see you without needing a catastrophe to open their eyes. People who recognize your value before you have to prove it. This is not going to be a subtle season in your life. Nothing about what's coming for you is quiet or small or hidden in the shadows. The blessings are going to be loud, obvious, impossible to ignore or explain away. The people who got comfortable hating you, who made it their daily routine, are going to have front row seats to watch it all unfold in vivid detail. Understanding something about this period you've been in is important. A reason exists for why you felt disconnected from people lately. A reason exists for why you've been at peace but not really engaging intimately with anyone. A reason exists for why attraction to people hasn't been happening or being turned on by situations that would have captivated you before isn't occurring. You're not broken. You're not damaged. Losing your ability to connect isn't happening. You're in restoration. You're dormant like a seed underground, gathering everything you need before breaking through the soil into the sunlight. Operating on a different frequency now is your reality. You're not where anyone thinks you are. Fighting the old version of you is still happening on their end. The version that would react emotionally. The version that would engage in drama. The version that would eventually break under pressure. But that version doesn't exist anymore. Evolving past it during your time in the darkness happened. Throwing punches at a ghost is exhausting them. Fighting shadows is all they're doing. Receiving opportunities that don't make logical sense based on your current circumstances is coming. Jobs you didn't apply for are going to reach out to you. Connections you didn't seek out are going to find you anyway. Resources are going to appear out of nowhere at exactly the moment you need them. Every single one is going to be precisely what you needed but didn't know how to ask for. People watching from a distance are going to be genuinely confused. How is this happening after everything we did? How are blessings coming? How is this even possible? Trying to rationalize it away is going to happen. Trying to diminish it in their minds will be attempted. Trying to convince themselves that it's temporary or fake or undeserved is the goal. But deep down, in the quiet moments when alone with thoughts, knowing the truth is unavoidable, picking a fight with someone who had divine backing happened. Every weapon formed didn't just fail to prosper, it backfired spectacularly. Living with that knowledge for the rest of their lives is now mandatory. Reaching out is going to be attempted by some. Testing the waters carefully with a casual message, a random like on your social media post, a mutual friend suddenly asking how you're doing. Don't be fooled by these gestures. This isn't genuine care or authentic regret. This is reconnaissance. Seeing if you're still accessible is the mission. Gauging whether worming back into your space now that seeing you rise is happening. Your job is not to let anyone back in. Your job is to maintain the boundaries that your season of restoration built. Understanding this is crucial. You didn't survive everything you survived just to go backwards. You didn't endure all that darkness just to invite it back in through the door with a smile. You didn't grow all these roots just to let someone come dig them up again. The shame being felt right now is appropriate, deserved, the natural consequence of choices finally catching up. While part of you might want to alleviate that shame, to make people feel better, to prove you're the bigger person by absolving them, resisting that urge with everything in you is necessary. Making anyone comfortable with their betrayal doesn't serve anyone, least of all you. Letting certain people sit in that shame is important. Letting them feel the full weight of what was done to you matters. Not because you're cruel or vindictive, not because you want revenge. That's the only way some people learn. That's the only way some people grow. That's the only way some people develop the capacity to treat the next person better. Whether learning from this happens or not isn't your responsibility anymore. That ship has sailed. Your responsibility now is to step fully into this next chapter, to claim every blessing coming your way without apology or hesitation, to shine so bright that people need sunglasses just to look at your social media feed, to live so well that it becomes undeniable proof of divine favor operating in your life. This is your time, not because you're lucky, not because the stars randomly aligned in your favor, not because you manifested it with vision boards. You survived things that were specifically designed to destroy you, and you came out stronger on the other side. You maintained your integrity when it would have been so much easier to become bitter and twisted. You kept your heart soft even when the world gave you every valid reason to harden it into stone. Now let me put you onto something real. Destiny Engine. I built this because I was done watching chosen ones get dragged through betrayal, isolation and attacks while their enemies strutted around unchecked. I want to help you accelerate the speed of your divine justice and step fully into your purpose. And the beauty of it, you don't even have to lift a finger. Destiny Engine takes their downfall and flips it into your rise. This isn't another meditation app. It's declassified consciousness technology, the same mind programming tools your enemies once used to install fear, competition and scarcity, re-engineered to restore your sovereignty and align you with the cooperative, upgraded operating framework. It generates personalized sequences mapped to your divine purpose. The hardest thing you'll do is put on headphones, press play, and watch your enemies keep digging their own grave. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your Destiny Engine for $1 today and turn everything they did to break you into fuel for your rise. Link in the description. The universe doesn't reward people randomly. It rewards those who stay aligned with their purpose, even when that alignment costs them everything thought to be needed. You paid that cost in full. You walked through the fire without flinching. You sat in the darkness without losing hope. You endured the silence without filling it with bitterness. Now it's collection time. Now it's harvest season. Now it's time for the universe to pay you back with interest. Every tear you cried in private is being counted. Every prayer you whispered in desperation is being answered. Every moment you wanted to give up but didn't is being rewarded. This isn't wishful thinking. This isn't manifestation talk. This isn't positive vibes only. This is spiritual law. This is divine order. This is the way the universe works when you're operating in your purpose. What you sow in suffering, you reap in glory. What you plant in darkness, you harvest in light. The glory coming for you isn't just going to benefit you personally. Inspiration is going to happen for everyone watching from the sidelines. The people who stayed loyal through everything are going to be blessed just for being in proximity to your energy. The people who believed in you when it wasn't popular are going to see their faith rewarded tangibly. The people who covered you in prayer when you didn't even know you needed it are going to witness the proof that their prayers mattered, that mountains moved on your behalf. But the people who fought against you are going to become cautionary tales, living examples of what happens when coming against someone who belongs to the divine occurs. Not because you're vindictive enough to curse anyone, not because you wished this on anyone. The universe has a way of balancing scales that have been tipped too far in the wrong direction for too long. Preparing yourself mentally and emotionally for what's coming is necessary. When blessings start flowing without breaks, being overwhelming can actually happen. Your mind might struggle to process it. Finding yourself questioning whether you deserve it might occur. Wondering if it's real might happen. Wondering if it's going to last or disappear like a dream could surface. Shutting down those thoughts the moment appearance happens is essential. You deserve every single good thing coming your way. You earned it through survival. You earned it through perseverance. You earned it through maintaining your character when justifying becoming a monster could have happened. You earned it by being exactly who you were called to be, even when no one was watching or applauding. The version of you about to emerge from this chrysalis is going to shock people, not because changing who you are fundamentally at your core happened. Shedding all the weight that was dimming your light is what occurred. Releasing all the people who were draining your energy like vampires took place. Letting go of all the situations that were beneath your calling happened. What's left is pure potential, unfiltered purpose, undiluted power. When that version of you steps into the room, people are going to feel it before you even open your mouth to speak. Sensing that something is different about you is going to happen. Operating from a place nobody can quite identify but definitely can't ignore is going to be obvious. Some people are going to be drawn to it like moths to a flame, wanting to be near you, to learn from you, to absorb some of that energy for themselves is going to happen. Being very discerning about who you allow access to this new version of you is going to be necessary. Not everyone who's attracted to your light deserves to benefit from it. Not everyone who wants proximity has earned the privilege. Others are going to be actively repelled by your energy. Your presence is going to make them deeply uncomfortable because reminding them of everything not being done with their own lives is going to happen. That's perfectly okay. Let them be uncomfortable. Let your existence be a mirror that shows them their own stagnation. Maybe motivating them to change will happen. Maybe it won't. Either way, being your concern or your responsibility to manage their feelings about your success isn't the case. Your only concern moving forward is continuing to walk in your purpose, continuing to honor the divine assignment you've been given, continuing to shine so bright that even haters have to acknowledge something undeniably special is happening in your life. Acknowledgement will happen eventually. Maybe not publicly where everyone can see, maybe not directly to your face, but in private moments when alone with thoughts and lying to themselves isn't possible anymore, knowing is going to occur. Replaying every moment of having a chance to support you and choosing not to is going to happen. Every opportunity to celebrate you and choose to criticize instead will be remembered. Every chance to stand with you and choose to stand against you will be recalled. That knowledge is going to eat away. Keeping people up at night is going to happen. Making them question every decision made regarding you is going to occur. Not because cursing them with guilt happened. Not because wishing this regret on anyone took place. Truth has a way of revealing itself eventually, and the truth is that fumbling is one of the best connections ever possible to have occurred. Watching you from a distance is happening right now. Building everything you were told wasn't possible is what's being observed. Seeing you thriving in spaces you were told you'd never access is occurring. Witnessing you becoming exactly who you said you'd become, despite every obstacle placed in the path, is taking place. The most painful part for certain people is going to be knowing that being part of this journey was possible. Celebrating with you instead of watching jealously from the sidelines could have happened. Growing alongside you instead of shrinking in your expanding shadow was an option. Choices were made, votes were cast, sides were picked. Living with those choices for the rest of certain lives is now mandatory. While you get to live in the fullness of everything you were promised, everything you were prepared for during those dark nights, everything you were destined to experience. People emerging from the rubble right now, the ones starting to see clearly for the first time in years, are going to approach you with apologies, with lengthy explanations, with elaborate justifications for why doing what was done seemed necessary. A choice is going to be yours to make in those moments. Accepting apologies with grace and still maintaining healthy distance is possible. Acknowledging regret without reopening doors that were slammed in your face can happen. Forgiving people for your own peace without forgetting what capability exists for doing harm when pressure is on is an option. Forgiveness doesn't mean giving someone access to hurt you again. Pretending it never happened isn't required. Releasing the hold that betrayal has on your heart, so moving forward freely can happen, is what it means. Some bridges are meant to stay burned. Some chapters are meant to stay closed. Some people are meant to remain in your past as lessons rather than returning to your present as friends. That's completely okay. Owing anyone a second chance just because finally realizing what was lost happened isn't true. Owing anyone access just because being sorry now is the case doesn't exist. What you owe yourself is protection of your peace, preservation of your energy, prioritization of your purpose above all else. If that means walking forward without certain people who used to be in your circle, then that's exactly what you should do without guilt. The best version of your life, the one you've been praying for and working toward and believing in, despite all evidence to the contrary, that version doesn't include people who had to watch you almost break before deciding you were worth their time. That version doesn't include people who only saw your value after you no longer needed them. That version includes people who saw your value when you were at your absolute lowest. People who stayed when staying was difficult and unrewarding. People who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. Those are the people who deserve to celebrate this next level with you. Everyone else gets to watch from wherever landing happened when jumping ship occurred. That's not cruelty on your part. That's consequences. That's the natural order of things being restored. That's divine justice playing out exactly as it should. When seeing people watching happens, when feeling eyes on you from a distance occurs, when sensing regret hanging in the atmosphere like humidity takes place, don't shrink yourself. Don't dim your light to make anyone more comfortable with choices made. Don't downplay blessings to avoid seeming boastful. Shine anyway, glow anyway, rise anyway. Your elevation isn't about anyone else. It never was about anyone else. Stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be before the world told you to be smaller is what this is about. Claiming the inheritance that was set aside with your name on it before you were born is the purpose. Proving that divine timing is real and divine protection is absolute and divine justice always comes through is what's happening. This is your moment. This is your season. This is your time to shine brighter than you ever have before. The fact that certain people know it, the fact that discomfort is happening for them, the fact that some feel deeply ashamed confirms something. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Walking in your purpose is what's happening. The universe is aligning everything in your favor is the evidence. Keep walking forward with your head held high. Keep your heart open to what's coming next. Keep your faith strong even when seeing the full picture isn't possible yet. What's coming is better than anything you lost. What's coming is bigger than anything anyone tried to take. What's coming is proof that you were never fighting this battle alone. The rubble certain people are crawling from is the same rubble you walked from completely untouched. The difference is clear. You had divine covering. Others had their own schemes. You trusted the process. Others trusted their plans. You surrendered to purpose. Others surrendered to ego. You believed in something bigger. Others believed in themselves. Now the evidence of who made the right choice is undeniable. Now the proof of who was really protected is unavoidable. Now the truth of who was always meant to win is inescapable. You were, you are, you will be, chosen, protected, elevated, blessed, unstoppable. Everything unfolding right now, all of this chaos and restoration and vindication, is just the beginning of a story that's going to inspire generations of people who come after you. Step into it fully without hesitation, own it completely without apology, embrace it without second-guessing yourself. This isn't just your time to shine for your own benefit. This is your time to illuminate the path for everyone who's been watching from the shadows, wondering if survival is possible after what you survived, wondering if rising is real after falling as far as you fell, wondering if divine justice exists, or if it's just something people say to feel better. Through your life, through your testimony, through your undeniable elevation, answers are being provided. Yes, survival is possible. Yes, rising is real. Yes, divine justice exists. It's happening right now in real time. If it happened for you, it can happen for anyone else too. That's the power of a chosen one stepping into their season. Changing just your life in isolation doesn't happen. Shifting the entire atmosphere for everyone paying attention is what occurs. And trust me, everyone is paying attention now, especially the ones who thought they'd never see this day come. Welcome to your season of vindication. Welcome to your era of elevation. Welcome to the beginning of everything certain people said would never happen. It's your time to shine. Deep down, even through all the shame and regret certain people carry, knowing this is your time is unavoidable. Stopping watching can't happen. Looking away is impossible. You are unforgettable. What you're about to become will haunt certain people forever. This is where everything changes. This is where the story flips. This is where you walk out of that rubble and into your destiny. Untouched, unbroken, unstoppable. This is your time. Everyone who turned away is being forced to watch you take it. Knowing it's your time is happening for them. Feeling it is unavoidable. Seeing it is constant. That knowing is the heaviest shame certain people